Not only has the Mystic class been arguably the most competitive class for a couple of years now, it's also gotten 5 new additions to it in the past 5 months, coming from champion buffs and new champ releases. And in today's video, I'm going to be hopefully helping you a little bit direct where your resources should go with these 5 Mystics, because there's a lot to break down with all 5 of them, and you probably need to know which you should be ranking first and which maybe you shouldn't rank at all. And I'm going to be going over ranking them 5th to 1st basically, and as you can see, first is Deathless Blade, because I called him Deathless Blade. It's actually Stellar Forged, but this guy, he's a Stellar Forged champion, and that just means he's not going to be that impactful for one's account. It's important to note that I'm talking about these from a competitive player's perspective. If you're a progressing player, this list might be a little bit different for you, because I'm not a progressing player. I'm at the competitive state of the game, so I can only speak from that point of view. But I can say that I feel like Blade is probably the least valuable of these 5 by a long shot. And when you look at the utilities that Blade really has, it's mainly just his 50% atrophy. And 50% atrophy isn't really going to cut it too much in modern game, especially with other Mystics we'll see later. That's really the only utility piece he has. He has strong regen, but the regen doesn't really kick in until you're below 70% health. And as you're going to see here, he's actually a very frail champion until that regen comes online. And if you can't get your regen until you've hit 70% health, that's really not going to help you in any competitive settings. At least not in Battlegrounds for sure. War, sure, that might be a little bit useful, but I just don't think he has a utility kit that's strong enough to justify having him being a ranked up champion on your account. So you can rank him for fun, and he's a Stellar Forge champion. You're probably going to use him once you get all of them, and I think you need him for like the Doom or whatever that you'll get at the end. But as you can see there, yeah, we're just taking a bunch of block damage, and he is the most frail of all these champions that we're going to be talking about, in my opinion, even with the regen that he has. And I do just think he's by far the least valuable of the 5, but it's kind of fitting that he would be, considering that he is the Stellar Forge variety and not just a regular champion. But next is going to be a buff/regular release, and that's Ghost Rider. And this is when I can start talking a lot more positively, because I think Ghost Rider is a great champion. I also think that the 3 ahead of them are a little bit better, but they're also very good champions. And I can, without a doubt, say I would advise you to rank Ghost Rider, because I liked this guy when I playtested him a lot. I do think he's gotten a bad rep, and I do think a lot of the gameplay on YouTube for him could be a little bit misleading. I basically am only doing these champions at rank 4 unascended, because that's basically what you can reasonably expect to get these champs, especially with Titan Crystal coming out in a couple weeks. That's probably where you're getting these champions mostly, especially Ghost Rider and Madeline Pryor. But I do think Ghost Rider has arguably the best utility kit of all of them. It's just the only thing that makes him lack a little bit is his damage is good, it's just not superb. It's very solid, and that's very good. Like, you're going to be able to get good results out of him. That was actually a really good Dark Phoenix takedown. That was better than even I remembered it being. And his utility kit's also very good. Like, the atrophy is only 50%, but he also has a 75% hinder to go with it. He has the power steal, which is very good at keeping the opponent from not going red. The damnations themselves on the special 3 are kind of ridiculous, honestly. And yeah, he's just got a hell of a lot going for him. And also, the regen is a much better regen than Blade's, in my opinion, because it does kick in while you're still at 90% health and stuff. And so, I like this guy a lot. I just kind of like the 3 Mystics that are ahead of him more, and that's the unfortunate truth for him. And I feel like if you want to play Ghost Rider, that's what I've been saying for like the video I did on him earlier in the month. If you want to play Ghost Rider, you're going to get results out of him. It's just, if you are ranking these Mystics and trying to figure out which one you need to do with a little bit more limited resources, I'd say he's probably the 4th most useful of the options that you have, assuming you can get all 5 of these. And so that's just kind of the unfortunate thing with Ghost Rider, but I also like him a lot, and I think that if you only got Ghost Rider of these 5, you shouldn't be that mad, because he's still very good. Now we're going to talk about Magic, which is my 3rd place, and she's 2nd place in my heart, because I actually think she's my 2nd favorite champion on this list. The thing that's keeping Magic down a little bit is she is rather difficult to play, and that's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people. And also, she's got some weird damage cycles that really kick in longer fights, and in shorter fights they're still very good, but her damage is arguably the lowest of the 5 of these for shorter fights. I'd say it's probably better than Blades from a consistency standpoint, but you really want to be fighting Cosmics with her in BGs. But outside of Cosmics, then it feels a little bit rough. But then outside of BGs, it doesn't really matter, and you can take a lot with her, because I think her buff control is kind of crazy. The neutralize that she places when they're in limbo is 75% against non-cosmics, which is still crazy. She also makes buffs expire extremely fast. Her block regen is insane. She probably has the best regen of all these champions we're talking about. And it's also more than just block regen too, because you get 50% of all other sources you take. And to be honest, I love this champion a lot. It's just, I think the 2 ahead of her are better, but she is my second favorite of the 5 of them. And she does take a while to get used to. Like, I took a long time to really feel like I've mastered Magic. 'Cause she takes a lot of getting used to. Her playstyle's kind of crazy, but she's worth it in my opinion. She is my 3rd pick, but I think this character has a hell of a lot going for her. And I definitely would suggest you rank her if you get her from the Radiant store and stuff. She's probably the hardest of these to actually acquire, which is worth mentioning. But number 2 is going to be Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange is the first one who came out this year, another just like Ghost Rider, rework and buff. And I do think that he covers a hell of a lot of ground. He's going to take pretty much every Mystic that you want. Every Cosmic you'd want him to, except for Thanos. And he's one of the best war champions in the Mystic class right now. There's a couple of YouTubers out there who have put some insane war content from Strange out there. I don't really know if a lot of that depends on him being Ascended or not, because a lot of the war gameplay I have seen is with an Ascended Strange, but I've used him myself in war a couple times, and he's very strong. His Nullify is ridiculous. You're just not letting the opponent gain buffs. His damage as the fight goes on is very good. I prefer Magic's a little bit more, but Strange maybe a little bit more consistent, the damage output, because it's easier to access. But yeah, for Strange, I did like this character a lot. His withers are very good. The regen on block he also has is very good. I just prefer Magic over him, but I think Strange is probably a better champion for a competitive account than Magic is by a little bit. But he's got a lot going for him, and you should be happy if you get this guy. You probably should rank him if you want to rank him, but who doesn't want to rank Doctor Strange, right? He's very good for Serpents. I'm sorry, not Madeline, that's coming later. Dark Phoenix is a little bit of a weird matchup for him, but he can definitely do it. And what's the other Mystic? Yeah, Maestro we saw. I'm sorry, Cosmic is also very good. Imperios is very good. All those matchups are very, very good. He's got the best Nullify out of all of these. I don't know about the best buff control, because I really like Magic's buff control a hell of a lot, but you're going to get a lot of good results out of this guy for sure. I don't really have that much more to say about him, honestly. He's just a very, very good character, and especially if you're spending so much of the fight in the special animation, then the opponent doesn't really get the opportunity to do much, which is utility in and of itself if you just limit the amount of stuff the opponent can even do. And yeah, we go ahead and just make sure he doesn't get his death immunity right there. But my number 1, and I don't even have this champion yet, but I've played her so much on the beta, and I just have a very, very strong feeling this is going to be the best champion of these 5. I've seen some ridiculous war gameplay from players in my own BG, because I assigned Madeline Pryor a good bit, because we have a rank 5 Ascended, and even if she wasn't Ascended, I still think that she's a cracked war attacker right now. Like, maybe the best war attacker in the Mystic class, and for BGs, I think she's also going to be very good, because she takes every single Cosmic Defender in about 60 seconds, and Dark Phoenix here, which is probably one of her worst ones, is still an incredibly good matchup, as you're going to see, if my game stops lagging. Anyway, we go for the special 3 there, and just, the special 3 is ridiculous. You just power steal them, and then they just start dying, like, extremely fast, as you can see here. I just keep baiting the heavies, and then eventually she's going to drop from the amount of degens that she's taking. Of course, she has her death immunity and stuff, but we go ahead, and just drop my special 1 there, and I just don't take block damage because we have that force field, and the force field is kind of cracked, if I'm being honest with you. And then I'll go for a relic here, which luckily she runs into. But if I just played a little bit less aggressive there, we don't even need to worry about that. And she's like the best option for Node 9 Dark Phoenix right now, which is a very meta war placement. And I feel like part of me putting her at number 1 could be the fact that I'm a hell of a big war player. And that is my game mode that I invest most of my efforts in. But still, I think she's going to be cracked in BGs. She's been cracked in Coliseum. There's been creators who have shown her do some crazy stuff there. Necropolis as well, like any long fights. Like, she just doesn't have that much that she's bad at. And even if you're not fighting a Cosmic Champion, she's still going to be ridiculous. The Hinder is very good. It's probably the worst buff control of all these champions, other than maybe Blade. Because Hinder is, of course, not getting rid of a buff. It's just reducing his potency. But that's still very good in so many scenarios, and also your damage is just so ridiculous that it doesn't really matter. And you can take all of these cosmics, even with your Hinder being the only utility piece you have for buff control. And the fear that she places with the Goblin Pit is also cracked. She's also the best champion of this list for fighting Deathless Thanos, which is a cosmic champ who doesn't necessarily get a hell of a lot of counters in the Mystic class. So, I don't know, man. Like, I really just think she's by far the best, and I'm probably going to rank 5 her on my own live server, put an Ultimate Showcase out for her once the Titan switches over, and hopefully prove a lot of that as well. But I have her at my number 1. I don't really have any second thoughts on it. I think she's absolutely ridiculous. So, anyway, thanks for watching this, guys. If you are a bit more of a progressing player, this list might change a little bit. Like, I'd probably put Magic lower because she's a lot harder to play. I'd maybe put Strange above Maddie. I'd maybe put Ghost Rider above Maddie too, because I think Ghost Rider is a very, very good champion for a progressing player. And then Blade, you probably won't be able to get if you're progressing through the game, unless you've done all the things to get the challenges, which maybe you have, I don't know. But I just don't really like Blade that much. Anyway, hopefully this gives a little bit of clarity for all these mystics that we're getting, especially once the Titan rolls over, where you can put your resources in. There's no shame in ranking all of them, because I probably will be ranking all of them. If you have the opportunity to do that, then that's great. They're all good champions, even Blade to an extent. But if you only have the opportunity to rank 1 or 2, hopefully this list helps with that. And don't feel bad if you really want to rank Ghost Rider and you're like, oh, but I ranked him lower than I ranked Doctor Strange. Well, I still think Ghost Rider is going to put a lot of work in for you, and you shouldn't be disappointed that I said Ghost Rider is worse, because he's still a very, very good champion, and you will get a lot of results out of him. So, anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.